Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64, Josh. It's time for Game Chat, where we chat with chat about different topics for the night. Tonight's main topic is going to be the changes that Metroid Prime 4 needs. And if you're looking at the thumbnail, you're noticing I picked Dread. Well, because Dread is a big inspiration for what this show is going to be talking about. Before we jump into it, I want to remind you guys, these streams are powered by Elgato. N64josh.com/Elgato. Coupon code N64Josh if you want to save a little bit at checkout. If you're thinking about getting into content creation or you want to up your game with some of the best gear around, go check out Elgato's Black Friday sales. Again, that's N64josh.com/Elgato. I will let you guys know one of my favorites is the prompter right here. I use this thing every day for making content. It is an absolute workhorse for me, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So go and check that stuff out. It is going to be on sale for Black Friday. I don't think it is yet, but it's coming. It is coming. So go and check that out. I got to say what's up. We got Byzantium is here. It says we here. Let's go. I'm running a little bit late. Brandon is here. What's going on? Hello, hello, hello. Newest member to the channel. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so very much as that number continues to rise. Remember, when we hit 100 members, it unlocks an NES challenge where I've got to play like the 80s. And the first game we're doing is the very first Metroid. After that, you guys will get to pick. You guys get to pick the game every time we hit 100 more subs or members on YouTube. All right. Joey Pitts is here. He says, I hope there's Diddy Kong. I'm so shocked by this. So let's talk about this. Why the Dread thumbnail? Well, because the movement in Dread was incredible. It was also pretty good in Samus Returns on 3DS. Okay. Now I've been playing the remastered, and I've scanned 50% of the items so far. I have 3 of the different beams. I think the only thing I'm really the next thing I assume I'm going to be getting, because I just don't remember a lot of this stuff, is the the grapple beam or whatever, the grapple hook. So I'll be doing that next. And one big thing that keeps jumping out at me, there's no melee. I tweeted out last night, I hope Prime 4 has melee. And not just because it's something that is in modern games, but it is a whole mechanic for Samus Returns and Dread that would be incredible in this game, because the space pirates in the first game, they run right up to you. They get right in your face, and I just want to be able to swing my cannon and have them get out of my face. And you can't. All you can do is just keep shooting. And I want to take it a step further than even that, because Samus is so elegant, and in the movement in Dread, I would love to see something very similar to the I think they call them glory kills in Doom. I believe it was the slow-mo, he just absolutely demolishes different enemies, and it's in slow motion. I would love if there were times that could periodically trigger something like that, and where we could see her move in a way almost like, I picture Samus moving more similar to Bayonetta than like Master Chief, right? Master Chief is like a tank, and he just, he just moves, right? But Samus is no tank. And I've watched some gameplay. Nintendo Land put out he went to Target and played. I mentioned it this morning. I do want to mention too, the footage we are seeing, guys, is VGC. over on YouTube. So make sure to go and check them out if you want to see this video with sound um, and just see their hands on, because it's really really cool. So I I really really want to see this game like be more than just what the last three were. Right? I've been saying it all along that I'm hoping there are some things they do to modernize it. Right? And even that's been scrutinized by people because they're like, well, how is that, but I feel like, and Nate and I just sat down and talked about this too. Like, I feel like this series could really use a melee and some glory kills, right? Or something along those lines. If you think about it in other first person shooters, you've got assassinations, where you walk up behind an enemy and then you do something really cool and it takes them out, something like that. So that's one hope. The other, and then I'm going to grab a bunch of chats here. The other is the way, so Samus and Dread, and maybe it was in Samus 2, I can't remember. I played Dread the most recent. I literally beat Samus 2 and then had to get more Metroid in and played Dread again. The way you can run to areas that you used to have to turn into the ball to get through, the way you can just slide underneath, these are like minimal things, but it really really makes the game for me. It's these tiny little details that really help it feel much more modern and make her seem so much more elegant. And I don't have the highest hopes that a melee is going to be there, since people are already playing the demos and they've gone hands on. Maybe it's not necessarily a melee, but it's some kind of like psychic, like toss. We're seeing there's a bunch of different psychic abilities. So like a force throw, maybe there's something like that, which again, that would be great in my mind. Just something that can like get enemies out of your face. Because the other thing is, we see from that last overview trailer, there's a lot of enemies coming in at once, and it looks like you might need to knock some enemies off of you. So we'll have to wait and see on this, but I'm hoping. I'm going to get some of these chats now. So let's see. I'm going to go with B. Shihan. I think that's how you say it. Hopefully I got it right. If I didn't, forgive me. So should I get Dread or Prime 4? Okay. If you don't care about digital, this is what I would do if I were you. I would go to Costco. If you don't have a Costco membership, find a friend that has a Costco membership. Go and buy $100 worth of eShop cards for $90. Go and get 2 vouchers, or the $100 vouchers, and get both the games digitally, and then get the upgrade for Prime 2 if you have the Switch 2 already, and save yourself some money and get both the games. That's it. If I was in your shoes, that is exactly what I would do, so I could get both games. Prime is probably $70. I'm fairly certain it is. You could literally get both games for what, $110? Is that what it comes? No, $100. $100. So for $30 more, you could get Dread. Unless you go physical, then I would say, do Dread physical. Maybe a little bit trickier to find. But the other thing is like Nate is saying, like, it all depends on your style. He really liked Dread, but the first person Metroid but that was the first Metroid I ever bought and played through. And then he recently played through Prime. That episode, I can't remember if it's up yet or it's coming. I've been uploading like crazy, so I don't know if it went up today, or it may be scheduled. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, if you prefer the 2D Metroidvanias, Dread's probably going to be your way to go. Otherwise, if you love first person stuff, Prime is going to be the way to go. It really just depends on your style. Joey says, I guess one hope is I don't need quest markers, but I need reminders because if I play an hour Monday and I get busy and pick it back up on Friday, I don't want to be lost and confused on what I was doing. I get that. Yeah, I get that. And here's the thing. Like, I've been walking away from Prime Remastered for a couple weeks at a time and then coming back to it, and it hasn't been too bad. Once you kind of learn the lay of the land, you get a pretty good idea of what's going on. Now, we don't know the scope of this game, how big it is, and that could be a factor for sure. So that really can be a factor with this one is, yeah, when you put it down, coming back to it, it's going to be tricky. Like, I'm very curious to see what they are going to do with that kind of stuff, because if they modernize it too much, it stops being Metroid. But if they don't modernize it enough, then it's kind of stuck in the past. Because I'm loving Remastered, don't get me wrong, like, I'm having a fantastic time with it, but you can tell there's some dated mechanics. Now, one comment I saw today on Nintendo Land's video is why are the space pirates all just standing around getting shot? And in the first game, they were constantly, or in Prime 1, or yeah, the first Prime game, they were constantly like running at you, trying to take cover. And I will say, some of the most fun in Prime Remastered is fighting the space pirates. Like, it is super, super fun. But I do feel like this game could maybe benefit from a cover mechanic. Like I said, melee attacks. And then also, like, just the ability to slide, and some of the movement to just be more like Dread. Those are the main things for me that I would really like to see. And I don't think it would change the overall formula that much. Now, we know with the psychic abilities that there's going to be another like grapple beam, right? How sick would it be to be able to grapple beam an enemy, then bring them in and clothesline them as they're going by? Like, that's the kind of stuff where, like, there's an extra bit of brutality to Samus that I would love to see. It doesn't have to get all bloody, but it can get very brutal, which I think would be amazing. Like, I would absolutely love this. So Joey says modernize it, but let it be something that you could toggle on and off. And that is a great way of doing it also. Like, they could start the beginning and say, do you want the classic Metroid experience, or do you want a more modern experience with checkpoints and auto saves? And then we could just decide. And I think that would be great. I see Steak is here. What is going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. We are just talking Metroid Dread and what our hopes, some of our hopes for this game, as it's 10 days away, I think. Like, we are so close, you guys. So close. I told you guys I am trying my best to finish Remastered and finish Hyrule Warriors. I played both this weekend. Got a nice chunk out of both of them. I put Remastered down as I hit the wrong button, turned into the ball, and rolled into this electricity that killed me almost instantly. And I don't remember a lot about that game, but I feel like I remember doing that the first time I got to that point. Thankfully, I had hit a save not too far, but it was probably 30 to 40 minutes that I got to redo again. So not super thrilled about that. And so, yeah, like, autosave, or maybe even some kind of a checkpoint system, like even light checkpoint system, I wouldn't be too mad at, because it is a bit of a tough pill to swallow when you've been putting time in, and then it just goes away. It just goes away. So Joey's saying, so did I hear that Target has demos? Yes. Yeah, I wasn't able to make it to my Target today. I definitely will go tomorrow and check it out and see. I will try to go. I'm gonna try to go early before tomorrow morning's news show, and I'll be able to talk about hands-on um, during that show if my Target has it. A lot of times, the stores around here don't seem to get these kind of like they don't seem to get demos really. So I think Walmart had Mario Kart, but I think Mario Kart World was kind of everywhere. So we'll just have to wait and see if anywhere is going to have it. But I really do want to go hands on with it and just get that taste before the fourth. I think one of the most interesting comments that I keep seeing from a lot of people and hearing from a lot of people is that this game plays way better than it's showing. People are saying once they have gone hands on with it, they're only more excited. They're only more excited to pick it up. So that's really good news. I love hearing that. Nadine says if Targets and stuff get demos, just release those on the eShop. I agree. I agree. I do think there's it may be part of their like their marketing strategy where it's going to be on the floor and it can cause a a spontaneous purchase maybe. But I mean, finish a demo and say purchase the game right now too, right? Like it's all right there. Joey says I just can't wait to play the game with the person from Smash. Here we go. Here it is with the jokes. With the jokes. If you guys are watching the B-roll right now, again, this is from VGC, and we're about to see one of the boss fights. This game is gorgeous. Like, no question. I am very, very impressed with what Retro has done here. Right? Even if the stuff that I'm talking about today doesn't make it into the game, it's not going to make the game bad. It's not going to make the game bad. And I'm honestly like super super impressed just with how the game looks, how it runs. Even Nintendo Land talked about how like the first boss that we all saw from like Treehouse and everything, that it's way more fun to play against than just to watch somebody else play against it. So that that was also good to hear. Because he was like, it's like the first, it's got the first boss syndrome, right? Super like kind of just weak, not pretty easy to take down. It's more like a tutorial kind of thing. But he said it was a ton of fun, and I love hearing that. Brandon says these demos are how they draw folks back into the store, but I agree. Let's get them in both spots, the stores and the eShop. Yes, for sure. I guarantee you, Target was probably like, why have we got so many people coming into the Switch section just to go play the kiosks, right? And then maybe they pick something up on the way out. So, it does help retail potentially. And I know some people have gone into Best Buy as well and checked them out there. So Joey says this will be my first 3D Metroid game. Are bosses bullet sponges? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They like I just did a boss in Metroid Prime Remastered that's like a bunch of rocks, and you have to use your thermal visor to see which rock you need to shoot. Now, granted, it does take a handful of shots for a boss, but you can make any enemy essentially a bullet sponge in Metroid by not using your missiles or your charge shot. If you just spam your trigger, it will take much longer. At least early on in the game, like if your guns will get stronger as time progresses, but even that, it's not like drastically different. So and I don't know what's going to take place like we've seen some of those shots like where all those like ice wolves are running around. We've seen where there's like a ton of enemies coming in. Some are bigger enemies. They kind of like we even see right here. And I'm not sure like, you know, how many shots they're going to take. They don't necessarily just go down with one shot. So that is something to keep in mind. But I don't like. I feel like it's a it is somewhat in the sweet spot that you're not sitting there for too long wishing the fight would end. You're you're there just enough, like to take one out and then move to the next one. And I mean, as you can see on screen right now, like there's a number of there's a number of enemies that you're fighting. The thing that is a little bit like there's one that came in and attacked, and then the scene changed, unfortunately. But I do hope that the enemies are a bit more aggressive, because they do seem to kind of be staying back and not really getting in your face, yet they look fairly primal, right? Like something that wouldn't not be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So uh Joey says it's fine if they don't go down in one shot. I just don't want 50 plus shots in 30 minutes later. No, 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 it's nothing like that. I mean, like your standard like space pirate is going to take like one or two charge shots, two missiles. Outside of that, it's probably 15 regular shots, something along those lines. Maybe it's a little bit more. So not you're not going to be spending too much time, at least in the past games. I can't speak for this one yet, but and I'm okay with it to a certain extent if it makes the player feel like they're at a disadvantage, but not if they're just padding the length of the game. If that makes sense. Like I don't mind it if you have to shoot stuff quite a bit, if it's a tanky character, if it is like a boss fight. If if it's giving you that feeling of your back being against the wall, I don't mind that. If it is just that feeling of this is a bullet sponge and I'm not having fun with it, there's it's that fine line that they've got to really walk to make sure that doesn't happen. Like I mentioned, that rock boss from yesterday, I was getting to the point. I'm like, okay, this is how, like, usually your traditional boss, you're like, okay, let me hit this thing 3 times. That should wrap it up. Nah, this boss was like 6 times, 6 different spots, something along those lines. Took a little bit longer. It also rolls, so you got to wait for it to expose the spot that you can hit again. And so it does take a bit of time, but never during that encounter was I like, oh, this isn't fun. It's just it did start to take a bit longer than I had anticipated, but it didn't hinder the fun whatsoever. So it was still a very good time. So if you guys got any other hopes, dreams, anything that you want, put them in the chat right now. What would you love to see from Metroid Prime 4? And I will read those on stream right now before we wrap up. But yeah, any other hopes and dreams for this game? I will say that watching Nintendo Land play and seeing, because when Samus is locked in, she can like kind of like uh, boost to the left or to the right to dodge enemies. And that movement looked very, very fluid, like looked really, really good. Exactly what I want to see. Like exactly what I want to see. Nate says, I'd love to see less respawning. You just want to live. I just want to live. I feel this. I feel this. When like I set that controller down gently, but last night after dying and being so close to like my next checkpoint, I was just like, Metroid, I love you. I love you. but it is a series near and dear to my heart. I have such a great time with it. So Ham Starry says, let Samus get the psychic ability to temporarily turn enemies against each other. That'd be fun. That could be fun for sure. I like the sound of that. That's a great idea. Joey says, I would love an online multiplayer just so it can be solo adventure and community experience. Yeah, this is, from everything we know, this is very much just a single player experience, and maybe there's uh, at some point we see multiplayer make its way back into Metroid. I think I understand why it was not a focus this time around. Nintendo had already scrapped this game once, and then to focus on this what I'm assuming is going to be a pretty cinematic experience, and then also get multiplayer going and online. Like I uh I can understand why they didn't, but I'm hoping there's room in the future for them to, one, get another. And the rumors out there are that they've been working on the fifth game simultaneously, like, and I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know if they're going to pull like a Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, go back to a similar planet. Maybe they're not going to go back to the same planet, but they can reuse a lot of the assets because they're already built and then put us in a new locale. I'm not quite sure, but that would be just fine with me. Looking back, I was looking, like, thinking back to, like, when I was a kid. Literally got three Super Mario Brothers games on one system with the NES. Like, we do not see anything like that now. Anything like it now. So Nate says, I still think the 4 should be dropped. I don't think that does any favors without being able to play the other two. I agree. I agree. I think that would be it may have been a smart move just to call it Metroid Prime. But that's also, I don't know, they'd have to call it something, just call it Metroid Prime Beyond, maybe. So let's see. I think I'll get hate for this, but I would love multiplayer with strikes and raids like Destiny and public events. Camp N64. Did we just become best friends? I've been saying this for years. I would love to make my own hunter and then be able to team up with others. And I'll take it one step further. I've said it before. I would love to have a bounty that goes out and then have multiple teams going for that same bounty and having to fight each other along the way to secure said bounty. I think that could be so much fun, like a mix of PvE and PvP, something kind of unique, not something we see that often, and almost like an extraction shooter, kind of something along those lines. But maybe it's just like two teams of three going for the same objective, throw in some respawns, or maybe you can pick each other up. I'm not sure. That's not on me, but I would love to see something along those lines, because I would love to make up a hunter in this universe, a bounty hunter, being able to collect loot that gives better gear, very customizable gear. I think it could be so much fun. Ham Starry says, I want to play a section of Prime 4 where you play as Zero Suit Samus in third person or first. Oh, that'd be great. I'm here for it. I'd love that. Camp N64 says, that's like a dream Metroid for me. Create your own bounty hunter. Sounds awesome. Yeah. I've wanted it for years. For years, I've wanted to see Metroid go that direction. So we'll just have to see. Like, this game could go many directions. It could go nowhere. So hopefully it's going to do well, and it'll be something that we see a lot more of in the future. I see Boo Mini is here. Hello. Welcome on in. Brandon says, let me see. Are you familiar with Mod Retro? They make the Game Boy handheld remake. They dropped more news today that their M64 is up for sale for Black Friday, $199. Pretty rad time for retro. Oh, that's very cool. That is very, very cool. Nadine Hay says Mackenzie is technically Nintendo IP. I want Mackenzie spinoff now. Here we go. So what's going to happen is if you want a Mackenzie spinoff, it's called Star Wars Republic Commando, and you can go play that right now. And you'll have a great time with it. It's fantastic. The Red Seep, I guess. Did I say it right? I don't know. You have to let me know. I says I love seeing Metroid fans who are into the series evolving. Yes, that is 100% me, and it's not about going beyond what the core experience is. It's adding to it, right? That's that's the idea here. I mean, go play Super Metroid and then play Dread and tell me that isn't an evolution of the series. It very much is an evolution of the series and very welcomed. I would go as far to say that Metroid Prime Fusion went in the wrong direction by making it more linear and making the game easier and more accessible for a wider audience. And Dread brought that back, but then added the things that the games needed. We didn't know they needed it until we got to play it. But her melee function, her slide function, just her movement overall, being able to like grab ledges and to climb those ledges, like all that kind of stuff. So great, you know. So that's literally all I'm talking about when it comes to this. Like, I'm pretty certain she's gonna end up being very tanky through this entire game, and it's fine. I'm still gonna have a good time with it. I don't have any doubts. But I would love if they took a page out of Dread's book and she had movement like that. I would love to see some like real time action, like assassinations or like the glory kills from Doom, like I said at the beginning of the show. I think there's a lot that could be done with the gameplay that would only reiterate who she is and how she moves in this world. So Nady Nay said Dread is god tier movement for 2D. Yeah, it sets the bar for in my mind. Red Seep says it's just like the word receipt. It's just a play on the word because I go by Red. It's all good. Definitely wish she moved like Dread. Yes. Yeah, there we go. I love that. That's where I'm at. So Metroid is like if Ubisoft actually made good games. Wow. Don't hold anything back. The uppercut in first person and slide should be in Prime 4. I've been playing, I said it at the beginning of the show, I've been playing Remastered, and I'm like, there's so many times that you could just run and slide. But the unfortunate thing is we've seen her escape in the trailer, in the overview trailer, and she goes into the ball instead of sliding like she did in Dread. And so I don't think it's going to happen in this one. And that's, like I said, it is what it is, but I do hope the series gets the chance to continue evolving and really, like, I would love to see it do some things that were like, oh yeah, like I didn't expect to see this in a first person shooter. I didn't know I needed this. The other thing is I don't think she can sprint. And that also seems a bit strange. Like it's a modern shooter. She's definitely equipped for it. There's no question there. And she's going to just essentially jog everywhere. That seems a little bit weird too. So like taking a page out of Deus Ex Human Revolution for stealth kills. Yes. Yeah. The I've been mentioning the Doom, the glory kills, the slow mo kills there. You know, even I mean, not that anybody would mention this game, but Halo 5 had some insane like assassinations that were great. So you like the grapple beam pull into a clothesline, right? Like how fun would that be? Let's see. Boo Mini says this game looks great. I'm excited to watch others play it. If after 10 minutes into this game it turns into Ocarina of Time remake, I'd be happy with that too. Boo Mini, if you can, um, I I have a list for you of things that you can do to overcome motion sickness with gaming, with first person stuff. So if you can, maybe if you're in my Discord, just at me, and then I can send you this list because there's a really a number of things you can do to start easing into first person shooters, even so that you can deal with the motion sickness and not have to miss out on this game, because I really don't want that to be the case for you. Joey says, so how far in the game until she gets her lightsaber to go with her force powers? Here we go. Here we go. Look, Zelda has the lightsaber. All right. Zelda has the lightsaber in Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Nate says a lot of rabid Metroid fans really do remind me of some Halo fans. Anytime you touch something, the world is ending. Right? I mean, talking about sprint, adding sprint to Chief in the first game. Yes. What? Why not? How's that? How is that hurting anything? Anything? Boomini, the link is in the description of this video if you want to jump in to the Discord that way. Anytime to touch a little to evolve or make a change. Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Imagine sprinting and then sliding into the hole before becoming the morph ball. Yes. And on top of that, the shoulder charge. Mind you, sprinting is nothing new to the Metroid series. It goes all the way back to Super Metroid when you're running through, like, smashing through walls, running at like Mach 7, right? Like, why can't she sprint? Why can't she sprint? It seems so crazy. Ham Starry says I could see an upgrade for Morph Ball where you could grapple beam enemies, drag them around, or spin them, or flame them against the wall, or use them to flail against other enemies. Yes, anything like that just sounds so fun, right? Where you can tell they're pushing it a little bit and not being too safe. My fear is that this is going to be it's going to be very, very safe, and OG Metroid fans are going to really, really love it, me included. But I'm still worried that I'm going to be wanting a bit more potentially. I also feel like they are holding a lot back, that they are not showing much of anything at all. And I think it's a good thing, but I would have loved to have, like, some new mechanics introduced, something like that outside of the psychic abilities, because they honestly don't interest me all that much. Like, I want to see what else she's capable of. Really, I want to see her push to her limits, right? Red Seep said, I definitely had the best. Halo 5 definitely had the best gameplay in the series. Master Chief actually moved like he should, less of a tank and more of an actual Spartan. Yes. Yeah. I played a lot of Halo 5. A lot of Halo 5. Way more than most. I really had a good time with that one. There was things that needed, but I still had fun with it. So but that movement is good. Silver Gun RG says, hoping it's just as good. Lots of anticipation for this. I'm like, look, I should make a shirt that says in retro I trust, because it is true. In fact, I may just do that. I may just do that because I don't think they're going to let us down. I'm not worried about that. The stuff I'm talking about is like extras, if you will. Like, would be super cool but the game's still going to be super cool. Have they given any hint to another visor beyond psychic and scan? I don't think so. I mean, I think that's a good thing. I think it's a tough thing because you want it marketed well, but at the same time, like, the more surprises in this game, the better. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that is going to do it for me tonight, guys. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, for the Nintendo News Daily. I may or may not have played Metroid Prime 4 when we get to that. And then we'll be back again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern for another game chat where I just hang out with you guys and we talk about either a specific topic or whatever we feel like. So I appreciate you guys all so very much. And remember, play it